Do want to bring in former campaign director for Barack Obama, Robin Biro, and politics editor for the Daily Signal, Bradley Devlin. Gentlemen, thank you for being with us this morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great to be here.
It's great to have you both. So this question initially is for you both. Bradley, we'll start with you. Biden's garbage comment, of course, that's everywhere. Let's talk about the impact, or at least the likely impact this could have on Harris, and why this is possibly maybe the reason we haven't seen the Harris campaign using Biden for support.
I think everyone knows why Biden isn't being used by the Harris campaign, and it's because he doesn't have the mental faculty or the energy to do it. Clearly, the Harris campaign is trying to distance themselves as much as they can from the last 4 years under President Joe Biden. Sadly, I don't think the American people are buying it from Kamala Harris. They see that Joe Biden was #1 on the ticket last time, and Kamala Harris was #2. So with this garbage comment, sure, it's going to continue to energize the Trump base. It's going to, I think, tick off some people who say, hey, hold on, I might consider voting for Trump just because I thought my life was better 4 years ago under the former president. And now I'm for sure making sure that I turn out to the polls because the entire corporate media apparatus goes into overdrive about a joke in poor taste by an edgy comedian named Tony Hinchcliffe in Madison Square Garden about Puerto Ricans, but that same, level of ire and condemnation isn't extended to people who call Republicans and Trump supporters garbage and outright Nazis. I mean, you've heard that talking point from folks like Mehdi Hassan on CNN, et cetera, after the Madison Square Garden rally. So I think that's why Biden's not being used. He's seen as useless by the Harris campaign because they want to distance themselves as much as they can.
And Bradley, we'd like to get Robin's take on that as well.
Look, I think it's no surprise that we haven't seen Joe Biden on the trail for this exact reason. I think I'd have to agree with Bradley. We've pretty much kept him out of the spotlight. He's not been campaigning. He's not been on the trail because he's prone to gaffes. And they immediately came on afterward, the White House, and issued a statement saying that President Biden himself issued a statement saying that's not what he meant to say. He meant to say he was talking about the vitriol. There's no place for it. There's no place for hate against Latinos. Got it. But the words were said. It's damaging. We don't need that right now. We don't need Joe Biden to be our own October surprise.
You know, Robin, let's continue this conversation. Let's talk about Kamala's rally last night. She spent a lot of time attacking Trump. A lot of voters this morning saying they wanted to hear a little bit more on policy. How important was this rally for Harris? How significant was her venue choice last night?
The venue choice was interesting, and there were 75,000 people there. I would argue that it made her look presidential with the White House right behind her. She pointed to it and said, that's the Oval Office. I'll be there as your president. I think she did a great job last night closing the loop on her campaign. We didn't get anything new. She didn't go off the topic. She talked about her policies, about the economy, how she's going to propose to pay for some things. She galvanized the base and hopefully attracted some new voters because I'll tell you, 46.3% of registered voters in 2016 never showed up to the polls to vote. So we'd love for some of those people to get activated and hear our message and vote again.
And gentlemen, this is something that a lot of people are talking about, and that's the fact that we're seeing Melania Trump on the campaign trail now for her husband. She is talking about the campaign and its dangers. Let's listen in.
Two different people tried to kill your husband, and you saw it live on television. This is all different.
It is different. It's much more dangerous, and I'm very vigilant and very selective where I go, what do I do, because, you never know.
Bradley, curious, why do you think she waited this long to jump in and use her voice?
Well, I think she's been constantly on the campaign trail with her husband, President Donald Trump, for nearly 10 years. So I'm not surprised that she's picked and chosen her spots wisely. I mean, you have to remember, though she's not on the campaign trail, speaking at rallies. She's hosting events all over the country. She's actually been used as kind of like a donor whisperer, secret weapon, going to donors directly saying, hey, you know, even I don't agree with my husband on everything he says and does, but guess what? At the end of the day, he managed the country well for 4 years. And we saw that clip of Kamala Harris at her rally yesterday saying, we know who Donald Trump is. Yeah, people do know who Donald Trump is. They know him for warts and all. He just doesn't want to be painted as all wart. And people remember a booming economy. People remember good trade policies, sound immigration policies, and they want to get back to that. The problem that I think a lot of Americans have is we know who Donald Trump is, Kamala Harris. We don't know who you are and what your policies are. And so we might not vote for you.
You know, speaking of Harris, Robin, Harris is courting moderate Republicans during this campaign. She's getting some support. Now former President George W. Bush's daughter, Barbara Bush, backing her. Do you think she'll be able to sway more moderate Republicans on Election Day?
Well, you know, that's an interesting question. I would say that Nikki Haley supporters, 1/3 of Nikki Haley supporters have indicated that they're going to support Kamala Harris this go around. So I do think it makes a difference. There's over 200 Republicans that were once associated with then President Donald Trump who now have voiced support for President Harris or Vice President Harris. Freudian slip, excuse me. And I do think that that makes a difference, especially in a state like Texas. They still love George W. Bush. It would have made more of a difference had we received his endorsement, but he has remained silent.
Well, people love numbers, that's for sure. And Bradley, we'll start with you on this one. The last count, more than 50 million people have already cast their vote, including a record number of Republican voters. Now, last election, Trump was against early voting, but this time he's encouraging it. Do you think it's going to help his outcome?
I think so. The big question that I'm hearing from Republican strategists and Republican operatives across the country is, great. Finally, the Republicans have realized that this is the sandbox that Republicans need to play in if they want to win, right? This is the system as it is currently constituted, and you have to play within the confines of the system to win in order to change it, to the way that they want it to, what they want elections to be run. The big question for them is, okay, did we just take our day of turnout base and make them early voters, or did we actually court enough new voters in that early vote to keep the margins the same on Election Day to get President Trump a big victory? So, you know, maybe the mail-in ballots come in or the early votes come in and, oh my gosh, Republicans are overperforming massively compared to 2020. But then they could look at the day of vote and say, oh no, our margins aren't as big. We might lose this election. I think the registration effort from the RNC and others connected to the Republican apparatus have been largely successful in the states that matter, namely Sun Belt and Pennsylvania. But we'll have to see. A lot of questions yet to be answered, and we might have the answers on November 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th, some date around there.
Yeah, we're planning for long days and long nights around here. Robin, we want to give you a chance to talk to those large early voting numbers as well.
Oh, yeah. So it's interesting. I'm talking to you from Atlanta, Georgia, and right here in DeKalb County, our early vote numbers are actually down from what they were in 2020. So we have cause for concern as Democrats, but the early voting numbers are really doing amazingly well with women who account for nearly 2/3 of the early vote numbers here in Georgia. So, you know, you can read the tea leaves. I think that we're going to blow some records here out of the water. But Bradley's right. The early voting numbers for Trump are much better than they were in 2020.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for your time. Before we let you go, Robin, we couldn't help but notice the decor behind you. You are in the spirit, my friend.
Just don't forget that you have all that up when you wake up in the middle of the night.
I know. That might freak me out.
I have school-age children, so yeah. Thank you.
And that would explain it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you both for joining us.